Have you ever felt distant from God? Maybe it feels like the Holy Spirit isn't near, like there's an emptiness inside. But the truth is, the Holy Spirit never abandons you. That sense of distance usually comes from within, when your thoughts, your reasoning, or your emotions become unbalanced. And when that happens, the quiet voice of God that's always present becomes harder to hear. The story of Adam and Eve in Genesis helps us understand this. In Genesis 2, God planted the tree of life in the garden. This tree represents your connection to the right side of the brain, the part of your mind that perceives spiritual truth and allows you to hear God's voice and walk in wisdom. When Adam could freely eat from the tree of life, he was able to connect with God and hear him clearly. But God warned Adam not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For in the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. When Adam and Eve ate from it, their eyes were opened, and they realized they were naked. That nakedness symbolized a disconnection, living only from the logical, ego driven side of the mind, while being cut off from the spiritual, intuitive side that remains attuned to God through the Holy Spirit. Biologically, your brain works the same way. It has two hemispheres, the left and the right, joined together by the corpus callosum, a superhighway of over 200 million nerve fibers that allows them to communicate. But if one hemisphere dominates, such as when the left brain logic ego takes over, your ability to integrate the full range of mental functions, including intuition, creativity, and insight, is weakened. Spiritually, this imbalance results in a kind of death, the very death God warned Adam about, a separation from the Holy Spirit. You can think of these hemispheres as two sides of your inner life that need harmony. The left side of the brain is analytical, structured, and tied to logic and time. It helps you reason, but also nurtures the ego, the self image you cling to in this world. In the story of Eden, Eve's conversation with the serpent reflects this side, analyzing, questioning, reasoning apart from God. If this side of the mind dominates, you become trapped in rigid beliefs and patterns. This is like eating from the tree of knowledge, relying only on your own understanding and ego, which cuts you off from the Holy Spirit and the wisdom that is freely offered. Proverbs remind us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In other words, don't let the left side of your mind, reasoning apart from God, take control. The right side is different. It connects you to what lies beyond time and space: intuition, creativity, imagination, and divine awareness. The right side of your mind represents the tree of life, the part of you living in tune with the frequency of the Holy Spirit, God's voice. When the right side of your mind is dominant, you allow the Holy Spirit to guide your thoughts, decisions, and steps. Even though Adam and Eve were banished from Eden, the tree of life was never destroyed. Access to it is restored through being born again. When you surrender your ego and stop relying only on the understanding of your left mind. The Holy Spirit awakens within your brain. Harmony begins to form between the left and right hemispheres. The barriers fall away, and you can once again hear the quiet, guiding voice of God. As Paul says, you are renewed in the spirit of your mind. Jesus pointed us to this path. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only few find it. It's not easy, but it leads to life, to the tree of life. Few choose it because it requires turning away from ego, the tree of knowledge, and embracing the life of the Holy Spirit. This is the return of Christ being made real within you. When Jesus said, "The Father and I are one," he revealed the oneness with God that you are invited into. Each time you eat from the tree of life, drawing thoughts from the right side of your mind, you step into oneness with the Father. In that moment, you are no longer living from ego alone, but from the Holy Spirit. This is truth, no smoke.